In today's world, the relationship between the two global superpowers, the United States and Russia, has become one of the most important and complex international issues. The new Cold War looms like a heavy shadow over global developments, compelling everyone to watch an endless struggle unfold. However, this time the game is different. Borders are no longer just geographical. In today's world, powers compete not only in military fields but also in economic, technological, cybersecurity, and even media domains. In this video, we will take a deep look at the causes and consequences of the new Cold War, the ways the competition unfolds, the challenges and the scenarios that might guide the world down different paths. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, many believed that the era of ideological and military competition had ended. However, Russia, under the leadership of Vladimir Putin, quickly managed to re-establish its position on the international stage. This country, aiming to restore its credibility and power, moved toward more aggressive policies, engaging in conflicts in areas like Ukraine and Syria. In response, the United States and its European allies became concerned about Russia's growing influence, particularly regarding its military activities and security policies along NATO borders and its energy policies. One of the main factors driving these tensions is the Ukraine crisis. In 2014, when Russia annexed Crimea, the world witnessed a serious return to Cold War politics. This move, coupled with Russia's involvement in civil wars in Syria and support for paramilitary groups, led to a tough response from the West. Sanctions and the severing of economic ties became tools used by both sides to confront each other. Furthermore, energy and natural gas have emerged as another battlefield of competition. Russia, as one of the largest natural gas producers in the world, has used this resource as a tool for political and economic leverage. Meanwhile, the United States has sought to counter this Russian power by expanding its liquefied natural gas market. Ultimately, the new Cold War is driven not only by shifts in military and economic power, but also by Russia's aggressive actions and the United States' responses to maintain its global dominance. These rivalries fuel global threats, particularly in the areas of energy and international security. One of the most important aspects of the new Cold War is cyber warfare. Today, battles are no longer confined to physical battlefields. The virtual world has become one of the key arenas of competition. Both the United States and Russia are engaged in cyber wars and attempts to infiltrate each other's information networks. From cyber attacks on critical infrastructure to infiltrating government systems and private companies, these threats can paralyze a country's economy in no time and create diplomatic crises. Information warfare in this digital age has become a powerful weapon. Both countries use media, social networks, and internet platforms to influence public opinion and shape political trends. Russia, by exploiting fake news, propaganda campaigns, and disinformation, aims to interfere with elections and create division within Western societies. In response, the United States has developed strategies to counter Russian information warfare. As we have seen, cyber and information wars have become central to the new Cold War. These types of wars may not directly engage in military or economic confrontations, but they have profound impacts on the global order and domestic affairs of countries. If the sound of gunfire has become rarer today, it doesn't mean that the war has ceased. It has merely changed its form. Sanctions have become the modern-day bombs that target economic infrastructures. The United States, with the support of its Western allies, has constructed a financial iron wall around Russia. Major banks have been blocked, exports of crucial technologies have been banned, and foreign investments have been suspended. In response, Russia not only turned to China and India, but also attempted to give its economy artificial respiration by selling energy at preferential prices. If the sound of gunfire has become rarer today, it doesn't mean that the war has ceased. it has merely changed its form. Sanctions have become the modern-day bombs that target economic infrastructures. The United States, with the support of its Western allies, has constructed a financial iron wall around Russia. Major banks have been blocked, exports of crucial technologies have been banned, and foreign investments have been suspended. In response, Russia not only turned to China and India, but also attempted to give its economy artificial respiration by selling energy at preferential prices. Today, every oil contract, every financial exchange, and every natural gas deal is part of a ruthless game, a game where the goal is nothing less than the survival or destruction of a nation. The battle is not only between Washington and Moscow, the battlefield has spread across the globe. Russia, by offering weapons, cheap energy, and political support, tries to find new allies in Africa and Latin America. On the other hand, the United States seeks to maintain and expand its traditional influence with massive investments, security agreements, and strategic pacts. Asia, particularly regions like Central Asia and Southeast Asia, has become a new battleground, where every diplomatic visit, every trade agreement, and every military maneuver is a calculated move in this geopolitical chess game. In a world where energy is the lifeblood of the economy, controlling oil, gas, and renewable energy resources is equivalent to controlling the survival of nations. Russia, by holding vast reserves of natural gas, had Europe as its hostage for years, but sanctions have forced Europe to search for alternative sources at a breakneck pace. Meanwhile, the United States, with its LNG exports and investments in green energy projects, aims to capture this profitable market. The energy battle, beyond financial gains, has become a weapon that can topple governments or bring nations to their knees. In the new Cold War, the economy is as dangerous as nuclear arsenals. Sanctions, trade agreements, and energy wars have become new tools of dominance. In this silent war, economic power will determine the fate of allies, enemies, and perhaps even the future global order. If you found this content useful, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. The global stage is once again taking on the colors of old Cold War memories. The United States is on one side, with its traditional allies in NATO, the European Union, Japan, and South Korea. Russia, on the other side, is hand in hand with China, Iran, North Korea, and a group of countries dissatisfied with the current global order. It seems as if two new poles are beginning to form. Poles that each try to separate their own world from the other by building defensive, trade, and technological alliances. Digital, financial, and political borders are becoming more pronounced every day, and the danger of a new Iron Curtain, this time not in the heart of Europe, but at the heart of the world, seems more real than ever. The global stage is once again taking on the colors of old Cold War memories. The United States is on one side, with its traditional allies in NATO, the European Union, Japan, and South Korea. Russia, on the other side, is hand in hand with China, Iran, North Korea, and a group of countries dissatisfied with the current global order. It seems as if two new poles are beginning to form. Poles that each try to separate their own world from the other by building defensive, trade, and technological alliances. Digital, financial, and political borders are becoming more pronounced every day, and the danger of a new Iron Curtain, this time not in the heart of Europe, but at the heart of the world, seems more real than ever. However, unlike the classic Cold War era, this time the story is more complicated. While China and Russia may appear to be allies, their interests are often different and even contradictory. America's allies sometimes worry behind closed doors about the high costs of aligning with Washington. The interconnected global economy has made drawing borders far from easy. Today's world is a world of grey areas, a place where countries cannot simply be categorized as black or white. This fragility of the new blocs could make the future global order far more unstable and unpredictable than what we saw in the 20th century. Some analysts predict that the future will not be a bipolar world. but a multipolar one, a world with several competing centers of power. The United States, China, the European Union, Russia, India, and perhaps even new players. However, the greater danger is that without a strong international order, the competition between these powers could lead to chaos. A world full of proxy wars, economic crises, and regional arms races. Are we on the brink of constructing a new global order or on the edge of its collapse? The reshaping of the two power poles, now with new complexities and fragile alliances, has made the future of international relations unclear and perilous. The world stands on the edge of a historic change. It will either move towards a new multipolar order or fall into chaos and division. As time passes, the new Cold War becomes one of the most complex and tense periods in history. Rivalries have reached their peak, not only in military fields, but also in economic, technological, and cyber arenas. The two superpowers, the US and Russia, are engaged in a hidden and ruthless game where every move they make can have profound impacts on the world. In today's world, nothing is certain. Perhaps the new Cold War will lead to a long-term ceasefire where rivalries mostly take place behind the scenes. Or we might enter a multipolar world where each global player tries to carve out their own share of the new world. Either way, risks and opportunities always move side by side, where every mistake could lead to the collapse of the world we live in, while every well-calculated step can help shape a new, fairer world. The future we face will be a complex one, where every move, decision and choice must be made with greater care and strategy. New wars may arise, but at the same time there is an opportunity to redefine the global order and create a safer, more stable world. Everything depends on today's choices and strategies, choices that might one day become the most historic moments in world history.